Hi, Inspire Beauty. Brittany McMillan here. Happy Monday. We do not have a team call today, but I wanted to give you something, despite not having a team call tonight, that I think will help move you forward in your business. Tracking, you guys. Having a system to track every day not only allows you to kind of put pen to paper and see what you're truly doing in your business rather than what you think you're doing, but it also allows you to follow up with people and be able to flip back and forth and stay a lot more organized. So I'm going to talk about tracking. Now, I've used so many different trackers since I started as a coach. Anything from writing in a notebook to writing in my planner to like an actual tracker that I've printed out. And what I've finally found that works for me is I spiral bound, and this is just wrapping paper that I put on it on the front. But I had FedEx Kinko's make this for me, and I just spiral bound the same trackers over and over again. So the whole thing is this same tracker printed out back to back, enough to get me through the end of 2017. And so every day when I first got this, I put the date on every single day. I work my business Monday through Friday in terms of tracking. There are certain things I do on the weekends, but Monday through Friday are the days that I am diligent about reaching out, new contacts and all that stuff. So first of all, you need to decide what days and times are you going to invest in something like this. A lot of times when I speak with coaches and I say, how are your conversations going? They're like, oh, they're going really well. And it's like, well, how many people did you invite? Oh, I'm inviting all these people. But then when you really break it down, it's like, actually, I only really invited one, right? When you're doing it this way and you're writing it down, you can't help but see, wow, I invited that many people today, or, oh, I didn't invite as many as I thought that I was inviting. So I love this personal tracker, and I'm going to kind of talk you through how I go about this tracker and just my daily business activities. So the first things that I do when I sit down to do this tracker hour, okay? Usually I've already taken care of me by the time I go to reach out to people, okay? So there is a box on this one for workout completed, and I love it. I did my workout today. I check it off. Yes. Okay. Now, Shakeology drank. I just drank my Shakeology, so I'm going to check it off. So these are the first two things that I usually sit down and do. Then, usually by the point that I sit down here, I've already tracked and checked in with my challengers and the team. So I do a morning and an evening check-in, and that's what these are for, morning, evening. Or if you want to just do one time a day, this could be your challenge group that you check in, and this could be your team that you check in with in checking in on Inspire Beauty. Or if you are creating your own team page, those are your team check-ins. Okay. And then personal development, you're writing down what book you read and pages completed, or you could write down your podcast or your YouTube or whatever. This today, I'm getting ready. Actually, I'm pre-recording this. It's not Monday, shocker. I'm pre-recording this, and I'm actually getting ready to get in my car and drive for 3 hours. So my PD today is going to be YouTube. It's going to be part of the resource page. I am going to go in there, and I'm going to pick up where I left off with all those star diamond trainings. That's where I'm going to dive into. So I always go and I fill this out. These, I know they're at the bottom. I know they're 6 and 7 and we'll get to 8 in a second, but 9 and 10. I know that those are at the bottom and it's like it's the last thing, but I found that filling me up first and taking care of me helps me to serve all these people better later. Okay, so I kind of jump around, and I'll show you in a second how I get to all these other places. So then in number 8, after I do these things and I figure out what's for me today, then in the middle, it says plan hooks and new ideas. Well, I already have in my planner, I keep my to-do list here because I love checking things off. It's just how I roll, and I love color coding things. So my to-do list today, some of the things are already checked off, but my one-on-one check-ins for my challengers, I always do that on Fridays. My power hour, which I'm going to kind of walk you through how I do that right now. Personal development is going to happen in the car. And then I still have to do PM check-ins today. Okay. But everything else on my to-do list I've already done. But I have some things, because remember, I only go Monday through Friday. There are some weekend things that I need to do. that are on here. So you can see where it says plan, hook, and new ideas. So these are things that this is kind of like my to-do list, things that I'm working on in advance. So one-on-one check-ins. This is the weekly email that I send out every Friday to my challengers. I already did it, so it's checked off. This weekend, I want to make sure I start prepping for July. I've got to print off calendars and start really looking at July. And I want to pre-post my round 2 of Summer of Me because I'm getting really busy leading up into the start of that. And blog on Sunday. So these are all things that as I finish them, I can check them off. Okay. Yesterday, actually, I wanted to pre-record the Zoom and I didn't check that off. So now, heck yeah, I can go back and check it off because I'm getting it done. Isn't that awesome? I love checking things off. So that's how I do that. So I start with the bottom. Then I write, now this says create list from yesterday's post. Now, sometimes I will do that, okay, which is what I recommend for you to do. Everyone watching this right now, I recommend you to do that, okay? And I'll tell you why in a second, but I'm going to show you what I've done. So I write coaches, customers, prospects, okay? For me, it's really important. We have a large team. It's growing. I love it. I have a lot of customers over 3.5 years later. There's a lot of people that either Beachbody's given to me through leads, or I have accumulated, or they're customers that I had in the past and just they dropped out of groups, whatever. Okay, so it's important that I'm always staying connected not only to my current customers, but the ones that I used to have too. And then prospects. Okay, these are all the people that are not currently customers or coaches that I want to make sure I'm having conversations with. Now, for you, I would go back to yesterday's post. So what I would do now, before you talk to anybody, like don't even talk to somebody. I'm going to share the screen with you really quick. So before you speak to anybody, I would go, let's drag this down just a little bit. I would go into your personal page on Facebook, okay? And I would look at the posts all the way leading up to the last time you kind of looked, right? So if you're doing this daily, then I'm not going to look at my posts from Wednesday. I would go back and I'd look at Thursday. So I scroll down, okay? Let's just pretend that it starts here, okay? And maybe, okay, like look at these 3 people. Maybe I've never spoken to Leah before. I'm gonna write Leah's name down. Maybe I've never spoken to Jessica before. I'm gonna write Jessica down. And maybe I've never spoken to Casey before. I'm gonna write her name down. That's gonna be under the people who are liking your posts from the day before. Now, obviously all of those ladies are Inspire Beauty coaches, so shout out to them for loving on me. But if they're, not people that you've already had conversations with, by golly, write their name down. Now, if there's somebody that they like your posts all the time and you've already reached out to them, keep reaching out to them, keep chatting with them. You never know. You're just offering support each day, right? So same thing. I'm going to go to the next post, especially people that comment, right? Like, okay, all these people that commented are Beachbody coaches, but whatever. But in the likes too, I'm going to look for people who I haven't spoken to, and that's what's going to go. Now, you might not fill all that up, and that's okay. But you want to fill up as many of those lines as possible so that you're continuing to open up new conversations, okay? So same thing. I'm going to go through all my posts, and I'm going to do that. Then so I'm kind of skipping around. I skipped adding new friends. I'll show you that in a second, okay? But I'm here. I'm creating my list from yesterday's post. Then I'm going to start new conversations. Well, I got to know who am I going to stink and talk to. Usually my new conversations are a mixture of maybe the people from yesterday's post that I haven't spoken to before, or I'm going to go to my friends list and I can click on recently added. And when I click on recently added, you can see these new people who I've added in the last little bit, okay? And I can reach out to them and thank them for accepting my friend request or whatever, or I can go to their page and learn about them so that I can tell them something I really enjoy about them and then compliment them, as well as maybe ask and engage with a question, right? So that would be maybe where I start with new conversations. Now your list though, anybody that you've created, remember that big old list you made when you first started Beachbody? I hope you have that list somewhere, because that list you want to keep coming back to. Those are your conversations that you can have. Now, when we get to the next part, okay, the inviting and the follow-up, I'm going to come back to that in 1 second. So your conversations, you guys, your conversations can be between brand new people. They can be between coaches, customers on your team, prospects, people that you want to talk to. But when you're having conversations, it's just as simple as sending out hey girl messages, right? So I want to show you on my notes, I have a part called hey girl templates. And I have different ones and I keep adding and growing to this. I've got ones for birthdays. You can go and you can reach out to people when it's their birthday and just tell them that, you know, you wanted to wish them a special birthday, any plans to celebrate your big day, whatever. Maybe if they liked your post, you can say, thanks for the love on my post the other day, you rock. Tell them that you're passionate about empowering and impacting people and that it means so much to you. And then ask them how they're doing. Or you know, if you know them more personally, you can reach out and just, you know, maybe ask a question about their life right now. Sometimes I just stop by and show people love and encouragement and thank them for being a part of this whole community thing that I do on Facebook, and ask them how they've been. Sometimes I'll just tell them that they've popped into my news feed, right? So that I don't come across as like, why the heck is she randomly messaging me? Oh, well, I was thinking of you because you popped in my news feed. How have you been, right? You can say that. Make sure, though, that you're going to these people's pages and checking out what's going on in their life, right? Because if you're like, hey, girl, you popped in my newsfeed the other day. It looks like everything's going awesome. And maybe their last post was like their dog died. That'd be pretty crappy if you reached out and were like, how you doing? Because it's obvious you really weren't paying attention, right? So make sure that you go to their pages and figure that out, too, how they're doing. Sometimes I just let them know I'm thinking of them because I'm prepping to start a new group, and I want to circle back because I'm following up with them based on maybe a previous conversation we've had about that. So what I do, guys, is I save these. It's that easy. You can save them in a Word document. You can save them, you know, in a notepad like this on your computer, but it makes it easier so that when I go to write these messages, I'm not reinventing the wheel every single time, okay? So that's what I do. My conversations are so important. Okay, and the conversations for me typically organically will go into the invite process. But all these names that you see here that I have already written down for the day, I've already written down people I want to follow up with and invite, because these are people that have been interested in my groups in the past but have never committed. And now that I'm getting ready to start a new group, their names are here. So if somebody says, no, not this month, what do? I flip to right when I know my next group is going to start, and I write their names down. Guys, that's how you stay organized. That's how I'm not like, who should I talk to? I'm staying organized, and I'm disciplined about knowing, okay, this is when my next group is going to start. You always want to be looking ahead, okay? Work smarter, not harder, all right? And then, let's see, I just want to go over to my challenge tracker portal. One of the ways, so on my customers list today, it says all Summer of Me challengers, okay? I just wrote it like that there because there's a lot of people, but I go into the participants, you guys, and I can see how everybody's doing. I can see how many shakes and workouts people have been having. I can see the last Shakeology they had and the last workout they did, right? I can see all that stuff, okay? And so then I can send them a personal message. I can either send it by clicking the box there and click send message, or I can physically go to that person's profile and click send message there too. And I'm able to view their activity. I can look at their goals and their before photos. If they took them, I can also see their tracking here, and there's the color code at the bottom that shows you workouts, shakes, and both. So you can go through and you can really see what people are doing, okay? And then you can send them love. You can say, girl, you are crushing it with all of your workouts and your shakes. I'm so proud of you. Or, hey, you know, I see that your goal is to lose 5 pounds. How's that going for you? Or, hey, girl, I just want to check in on you because it looks like I haven't seen you log this week. Is everything okay? I'm worried about you. Something like that, right? So that's part of your tracker. You're taking care of your current customers. It's not all about just new conversations. If you have coaches on your team, you want to be reaching out to your coaches. Even if you just have one, checking in on them at least once a week to see how they're doing. Now, we have a wide variety of coaches on Inspire Beauty, and so I try to balance the reach outs as best as I can for my personal downline, but the reality is, you know, you have to have those conversations. You've got to reach out to people and let them know that you are here for them. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm at with all of the conversations that I have each day. But remember, I write them down before I have them. So that way I'm not like reaching for things and just stretching. Then when I want to go to add new friends, a couple of ways you can do this, guys. One is you can just click on the Find Friends tab here. And this will show you, you can see all, and it'll show you all the mutual, or all the people that, you know, Facebook recommends for you to be friends with, because maybe they have mutual friends and whatnot with you. Okay, so there's that way to do it. But also, another way to do it is to go to be in groups. So for example, I am in a wiener dog group. Heck yeah, I am. And Mini Dachshunds United. And so I'll interact in this group. Sometimes I'll post in here. Sometimes I'll like and love on stuff. Sometimes I'll comment. But every once in a while, I can go to the members too, and I can scroll through and I can see if there are people like this woman here and this woman here I'm already friends with, and I'm friends with her too, because we met in this group, guys. That's how we met. So now, obviously, I didn't just go in here and start friend requesting left and right people, but I was able to go in to the group and start interacting and seeing if, you know, this would be like a relationship that I'd like to form. Some of these people are really cool. Some of these people are just not my tribe, like, and that's okay, right? I'm not trying to friend request everybody, but that's another way to find friends if you're like, Brittany, I can't find anybody. The other thing too is a lot of times, like when I first started this business, because of the color guard world, and I know some of you, your niche is the color guard industry, and it's your, maybe like your friends that you marched with or students, and I get that, but here's the deal. A lot of times people who are that age group, who have just aged out or are still marching, don't have money. And you're going to hear that one over and over again. And if you find a way to figure out how to get like that niche to drop that I don't have money thing and be able to come up with a solution, I'd love to hear it. But also in the meantime, instead of knocking your head against the wall and being frustrated that every conversation leads to that answer, you need to start reaching out to people on Instagram or Facebook that gel with you, that are your vibe, but are able to actually invest in their health at this time, okay? Because it is, oh my gosh, I've been there. It's super frustrating when that's all you're dealing with are a bunch of no's because they don't have money. So that's another way that I would find friends, is by being in groups, you guys, on social media. You can use hashtags on Instagram to search for friends as well. And then one other thing that I like to do, like for example, I'm friends with Jess, so I'm gonna go to her page. Now I might go, see, isn't her dog so cute? Oh, I love her dog. Isn't her dog cute? Anyway, I might go to Jess's page and look, Jess and I have 5 mutual friends with this woman, right? So maybe, but look, she is a health and fitness coach. So I'm going to guess she's a Beachbody coach already, right? So I'm not going to add her as a friend because I don't really need her as a friend right now. And I hate to say that, but that's not what I'm really looking for, right? But you can look and see if maybe like we have some mutual friends here. Okay, so maybe that'd be a good one to connect with. Oh, and she lives where I almost like in the town over. My dad used to live in Wyandotte, so like that's cool. So then I put add friend, and I'm gonna write her name down. Her name is Shelby May. Now, if we don't have any mutual friends, honestly, a lot of times people won't friend request you back. They won't accept it because they don't know who you are. So I try to at least have a couple mutual friends. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. All right. So I write it down right there. I wrote her name down. Now there's an accepted box, yes or no. So when she accepts, or if she accepts, I can check yes. If a couple days go by and I notice she never accepted, I can check no. But if she checks yes, remember, that's somebody that maybe a week from now, like next Friday, I want to go and I want to write down her as a new conversation to have. You know, you don't want to do it like literally the next minute that she accepts it, but maybe a week later or so, you know, go to that person's page and start liking, commenting on things so that they know you exist, things like that. Okay, here's another one. We've got 2 mutual friends. She's a fashion consultant for LuLaRoe. Okay, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't need health and fitness. Cool, I'm gonna write her name down. So, you see how I do that? And sometimes you can do it, guys, just by going to friends that you love and know. Now, I'm not saying like, okay, obviously you're not going to go to my page and I'm not going to go to your page and start friend requesting people, because that doesn't, like, we're like butting heads. Does that make sense? But I might go to somebody's page who I really like, but they're not a customer, they're not a client, but I love their vibe. And I want to meet other women that maybe have the same vibe as them, that they're friends with, okay? So that's another way to also do that. Another thing I used to do way, way back at the very beginning was I would friend request any women that Charles went to school with, or like people that my mom knows, family members, boyfriends, husbands, etc., brothers, sisters. Go and friend request those people, because that helps to build your network. And you already have like a common, ground to stand on, because you can talk about, hey, like, I know you're friends with my fiance. How do you know him? That's how I would open up that dialogue. One other place that I also am able to find friends that it's really easy is I am in my high school's group. Okay. So my high school, let me see if I can find it. My high school has a group. Let me get down here to it. There it is, Trenton High School. So my high school has a group, and a lot of times, like, I find people who I graduated with, or that I wasn't friends with already, or I find people that maybe graduated like the year before me or the year after me that we knew each other, but maybe weren't that close because we weren't in the same graduating class. So that's another way that I find a lot of friends on Facebook too, is through my high school's group. So go check out if your high school has a Facebook group or things like that, okay? So those are just some tips for how to add friends into your network. So remember, we're gonna take care of ourselves, right? We're gonna do the whole bottom. We're gonna plan out our day. We're gonna make sure we take care of ourselves. We're gonna write down people from yesterday that we're liking on our stuff, and maybe new friends or friends that we haven't spoken to in a long time. We're gonna get brave, and we're going to invite at least 2 people, okay? And we're gonna follow up with people that we haven't spoken to in a while. These 2 become easier the more you do this up here. Because the more I'm doing this and filling this in, the more I can say, okay, I opened up conversation with Susie a week ago, and we've been going back and forth and back and forth. I'm going to invite her now. So I can put Susie like a week later that I'm going to invite her, because I can say, Susie, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you, right? I can throw the by the way, I've been meaning to ask you in there, because then it just seems like a natural flow of our conversation, right? So when you start having these initial conversations, that's what's going to lead to you being able to invite. Now, you also have to have something to invite to. So are you actively running free groups, challenge groups? Are you actively pursuing people to join Inspire Beauty, right? Those are all things that you want to keep in mind. But guys, that's it. That's how I do my tracker. That's how I reach out to people. That's how I open up conversations, and my inbox, it doesn't look like it has messages right now, but right now it's got 14 sitting there that I've got to get to, okay? Oh, and Adair accepted my friend request, so I'm going to check off yes, and that means that maybe, okay, it's Friday, so maybe by next Friday I want to reach out to her. So I'm going to put on next Friday to start a new conversation with her. You see how I do this? And that way, guys, it just keeps it organized, and you're not playing guesswork, okay? Anyway, thank you guys so much for allowing me to kind of take this last Monday of the month off, since we have some crazy stuff this weekend with all the shows coming up for Vanguard and just their 50th anniversary and just everything that's going down before they officially jet away on the road. So I appreciate that. Also, next Monday, we will not be having a team call on July 3rd. So the next time I will see you guys through Zoom is going to be on Monday, July 10th. So hopefully by the time Monday, July 10th comes around, you have not only watched this Zoom, but you have implemented this into your business and are seeing the effects that tracking every single day will do. Okay? If you have any questions about this, if you want to know where to pick out trackers, guys, there are trackers in the file section. That's actually one last thing I wanted to show you guys. In the files section of Inspire Beauty, Okay, in the files section, you guys, there are some no trackers that we had done for Team Cup, but down here, there is a Power Hour checklist. Power Hour checklist is a tracker, okay? And when you click on it, I actually already opened it here, it looks like this. So this is your personal development. Here's your workout. Here's your Shakeology, okay? And then you add 5 friends, connect with 5 new people, invite, follow up, present the business, okay? And it gives you lines for those. And then check into your team page, check into your push groups. So if you are in like Emerald Daily or Rock the Basics, are you checking into those and being present? Not just with your workouts and shakes, guys, but the actual assignments too, right? Workout challenge. So your challenge group in my challenge tracker app. Free groups, checking into those. 3 to 5 social media posts. Replying to every comment that you get. Guys, they took the time to comment. You take the time to respond back. And then anything else you need to add in for the day. And then it even gives you a little space for what you're grateful for. So this is for you to use if you like this outline better. This tracker, guys, is also available. I have posted it numerous times on Inspire Beauty. So it is an image actually. So you're gonna have to go and find that image, but I posted it recently. So if you just go to the Photos tab here, I think you'll be able to find it. Yep, it's right here. Okay, so this is the one that I just showed you. Mine's not even in color, guys. I did it in black and white to save money. But I made enough for the rest of the year. So when you go to print them out, print out lots, guys. Print out lots. Why not? Okay, so that's it. That's how I track. Oh, one other thing, there is a business starter tracker that looks like this that Michelle Myers had made. She is part of our upline of coaching, and she is one of the top coaches in the network. And she made this one, and this kind of gives you just a little bit more space to fill out some of the stuff, checking coach online office, training and team check-in, challenge group check-in, reply and like to comments, messaging the commenters and likers, and it just kind of gives you space for that. I personally loved this layout better because I had more room to write down the people I'm talking with, whereas here I didn't feel like I had space. But you can even track in your me time and your water goals for the day, what you're proud of, what you were inspired by, and just what you're going to plan to do the next day. And it gives you space for maybe your schedule too. So if you like that outline, guys, that's also in Inspire Beauty in the files. And it's called the Business Starter PDF, okay? So that's the Business Starter PDF that you can also check out, and it's there for you. But guys, I can't stress the importance of tracking. I spent a lot of my business not doing this, and it was not good, okay? Learn from me, learn from my mistakes. If you currently do not have a system to write people's names down and talk to people daily, then you need to do it like now. Okay? All right, guys, thank you so much. I love you. If you have questions about this, takeaways, anything, take it to the team page. I'd be more than happy to answer those questions there. Take care, guys.